Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball. We are ranking the dugout celebrations, talking about the Rays being undefeated and other stuff. We're going to talk about other stuff too. Wow.
It was a great opening.
It was good, and then I didn't stick the landing. Hello and welcome to Talkin Baseball, brought to you by SeatGeek. My name is Jimmy. I'm sitting here with Jake and Trev, and BBD's behind the dish, producing away. We've got some fun midweek conversations today. The Rays are 11-0. Real or fake? Are you buying Rays stock? Jake, how you doing? You look good.
James, Trevor, BBD was just looking at Trevor and Olivia on Instagram. Hot.
Oh, no.
I'm doing well, but we don't talk about that. And yeah, I'm running hot today. I got the big coffee. I didn't sleep at all last night, so we're gonna run on pure American caffeine energy drinks, all the healthy stuff that my mother hates. And just had brother Jeff Passan on Wake and Jake this morning and talked about some of the same topics, and he was running hot, so that's got me fueled up. And we got the full band midweek, so that always gets me a little hard H in the pantaloons. Trev, how are you?
I don't like where you know what? I told you, like, out here, the vibe is not great. It's misty, it's foggy, it's a little dark, and then you start talking about boners in the intro, and like, what am I supposed to do, man? I'm trying to have a serious, baseball show here, and here you are, man.
Yeah. I
do agree, though. You look really good.
I didn't pick up on the boners.
Didn't say the B word once. So
you said hard in the pantalones. I don't know what else to infer from that one.
A lot of things, man.
Okay.
Yeah. Good quads.
I'm doing great, though. Look, it is weird. I'm going to have a weird energy today on this episode. I want to warn everybody. These dugout celebrations, I'm going to be harsh. It's just how I am. I can't change that, James. What about you? How are you feeling today?
I'm good. Busy day today. I think we're doing a lot of stuff. I already did a big old show, 2 shows. I got a lot of meetings. Yankees have a day game. It's a big one. But also, I'm going to see you in a week or so. You're coming out here for another warehouse tournament, and we'll do some in-person shows together and shit. So that got me jazzed up. Sam told me yesterday, she's like, it's next week. And I was like, whoa. And Katie's got a friend coming out, and she's bringing her kid. So I'm doing like hotel days. I think I'm doing 2 or 3 nights in the hotel.
Whoa.
So I'm very excited for this tournament.
That's some late night hangs, me, you, Jay, BBD. Maybe we invite Zach. I don't know what'll happen.
Ooh. So things are going well. Yeah. Home run celebrations. You want to get right into them?
Sure.
Can.
Now, I know we were texting last night. Are we just choosing our favorites of the existing ones? Are we still going to provide help for teams that don't have them with some ideas?
I think it's a little of both, right? I think we got a lot out there right now. It's a lot to drink in.
We do the, what is
Caesar
this called?
thumb?
Like the Caesar thumb? Yeah, I think we do that for each celebration that's existing. And then, as I suggested last night, let's some teams that don't have them, let's suggest. And you can actually run it back. If you don't like one that's already happening, you can suggest something for them. I think teams need help.
And you could probably find some other home run celebrations on MLB 9 Innings, the app. Trev, it was live on Talkin Yanks. Took my first at bat in the game. Aaron Judge, home run. So the game's realistic as all heck. They got some celebrations in there as well. They've got league modes, live PvP. You could, how many games you want in your season to run out. That's probably the future of baseball too, right? And they've got all these historic players: Larry Walker, Walter Johnson, Jackie Robinson, Roberto Clemente, Jim Thome, Trevor Plouffe, Ty Cobb, and so many more. Download MLB 9 Innings, the app. There's a link, MLB 9 Innings 23. There's a link in the description. And if you're a baseball fan, which you're listening to Talking Baseball right now, and you got a phone, that's a pretty good combination for this. So go check it out, see if you like it, enjoy it with us, hit some homers, and celebrate.
Okay.
Let's let people know where we stand. Like, kind of when you grade attractiveness, you need to understand the barometers of someone's opinion. Like, first, I want to let everyone know I'm a fan of home run dugout celebrations when warranted, not every home run. If you're down 8 runs in the eighth, I think you don't do it. I think you have to have the wherewithal and kind of the understanding of, let's do it. If you're down 3 runs in the eighth, you're mounting a little comeback. You know what I mean? So I think we've gone astray there where we've seen some really sad ones. My favorite one of recent pains me because it's a team I don't like. The Red Sox dugout cart. I thought it lasted longer than it should have. But the first year, I think it was 2020, and then even 2021, I thought that was a real fun one because it looked like a good time. You get to sit in the cart. You get pushed down the hallway. You get all your high fives. I thought when they hit that appropriately, it was one of the more fun dugout celebrations going. And then it kind of lingered too long, and you're like, guys, you came in last place. You should do something new. So that's a little bit of where I stand. Jake, do you have any favorites from past times? Are you in every home run, just big home runs?
See, it's just what you laid out is tricky because you're leaving a little gray area. And
tons.
That's where, Trev's kind of the opposite end of the spectrum. He's more of a, if you do it, you got to do it and lean into it, where I don't know. I think just more fun needs to be in the game. Trev's coaching kids nowadays. I want individual guys, the guys rounding third that do the stutter step or whatever it is. I think guys individually should have their own thing that kids are mimicking in the yards. And I think you got to feel it out year by year. If things are working for you, and depending what it is, let it ride. If things aren't, which, there's an argument for, 29 other teams, 28 other teams that the season kind of didn't get to where it was supposed to change it up a little bit. So it's a long season. I think you got to do something fun to get through it. The Orioles busted out some sprinklers the other day, which was one of my favorite things I've seen in a long time and is ridiculous, but I love that. So
Volpe lead off today, just to let you know.
Trev?
Volpe lead off. Okay. All right. I want there to be feel with these home run celebrations. I actually do agree with Jimmy.
Yeah,
the problem is we're in 2023 and everything is black and white. So that's what's going on here. There's no feel whatsoever anymore. I want there to be feel. So I don't want you putting those words into my mouth, Jake. Okay. For me, my barometer, I want it to be like topical. I want it to make sense with the city. I think most importantly, like that. To me, it's like you're doing it for the fans. Like you're celebrating, with your boys, but like the fans want to be part of it too. So I feel like it just has to like relate to the city that you're in some way. Or like there needs to be a good story. If there's like a story out there and you bring it into the team and you guys rally around it, I'm okay with that. If there's just something just like out of the blue made up, I'm kind of out on it. I think you're going to see for a lot of these. I think we're going to give them better ideas. That's going to be my favorite part about this. Like ranking them, whatever. But like I think giving these teams ideas is going to be fun.
I think that I like the backstory a lot. It's like a nickname, right? It's got to have a cool origin story. And then you can all accept it. If, the guys are going into a room together and saying, what should our thing be? And they're just, there's no like connection. It's a little odd. But we got a lot this year. Most of them are headwear. So I think we kind of bucket those all into one category. It's very easy. Guy hits a home run. You put a silly hat on him. And we got the Braves with the big giant hat. We've got the Reds with like the Viking hat with the thorns and what would that be called? A cape? It's not cape.
Yeah, like the Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones.
I mean, that picture, like, I'm famously against this Reds Viking thing. Everyone knows that. But you just threw up a picture of Jonathan India in it, and now it's like, that's not fair. That's not a real representation of what it looks like. That's too good. Right?
Well, I like at the end when they walk at the end of the dugout line, they present them with the bat. That's another big thing for me. I think you need a closing act to the celebration.
Okay.
If the guy gets to the end of the dugout and kind of just like takes the hat off, sadly, it's weird. Like you need someone at the end of the high five line bringing it home. So that's where the Reds win me over with this one because it's more than just headwear. They're presenting him with the bat at the end as like a gift to the gods, King Ragnar. The Angels have been doing sombrero, and then now they got a samurai helmet that Ohtani bought, and my God, that thing is cool looking.
They had the cowboy hat last year. I guess Shohei decided or wanted to do the samurai helmet. This one makes sense to me because obviously Shohei just came back from beating the Americans. Don't they call themselves like the Samurai Japan team? So he's bringing us in. The Angels are like, hey, Shohei, whatever you want, bro. Like what else do you want us to do? We want you to stay here. So we'll just be at your beck and call. This one makes sense to me. And it's a badass helmet. So I give this one my approval.
Yeah, that's tough, Trev. I mean, splitting the Reds Viking and the Japanese Samurai helmet, that's a tight lane.
He got it from Japan.
Shohei's from Japan.
Luis Sessa said Jake Fraley looks like a Viking. How is that different than is that different than Team Japan winning the WBC?
So wait, is that I was going to ask why do the Reds do the Viking thing?
Your boy Luis Sessa said he's like, Fraley, you look like a Viking with the big beard and the long blonde hair.
That's loose. That's pretty loose.
That's tough, right? And then the Braves big hat one, that's just got to be like, hey, there's the big hat thing going on. So let's go through. Let's give
Braves
the Caesar
big
thumb.
Hat.
Braves big hat's a giant thumbs down. They're
too good of a team.
If you don't want to do one, you don't have to do one.
You look back in time and you're just like, what were we doing? I mean, that's the only picture I've seen of Matt Olson where I said, no, you can't date my daughter.
Yeah. And this isn't a knock on the big hat. I don't want people thinking that. We have a big hat in the John Boy Media community. We had, Blitzball Battle 3 had a lot of big hat involvement. I like the big hat. But when everyone else is kind of up in the ante, this seems like maybe you should have just sat it out. Seems a little like, not enough for me.
Yes. We're out on this one. This one's not creative enough, essentially. Yeah.
No. I agree.
Viking celebration for the Reds. Caesar thumb.
I'm up. I'm up because of the ending. Jake staying neutral.
I stayed. I think we're being a little too tough on them because the fact that they're the Reds. And
I'm up.
There's not as much. I'm talking to Trev, Jim. It's okay.
I will not hold this the entire episode. I won't.
It's you wish there was a stronger connection. I think the full conversation we had is right, but it looks cool, and why not? India looks.
I gotta
awesome
hold
there.
that thing. Is it heavy? Is it like it's just a plastic one?
Plastic.
Because
I like the ending a lot. I'm into it.
Okay. Next one would be
Angels.
The Angels.
I'm up on the Samurai. If they've completely gone to that, I'm down on the sombrero. If that's...
Have they been using a sombrero?
They
started with a sombrero, and now they're doing
they're still using the straw hat on road
straw
games.
hat. I'm sorry, straw hat.
They're not traveling with it because I guess it's like a whole deal. And that sounds a little Angels to me. We're an MLB team. You can't figure out. You're shipping bats and balls and gear. You can't find an extra box for the Samurai helmet.
But hold on. I have a thought. So when they were in Oakland, it was a Warriors hat. Now, if they're choosing on the road to wear, like if when they go to an opponent's other team's hat, if it's a rub it in mode, I'm out on it, and I'm out on it if it's not. Double out on the straw hat.
Okay.
I tried to talk myself into it as like rubbing salt in the wounds, but you're the Angels. You can't do that yet.
I'm out. If the straw hat, I'm out on. I actually enjoyed the cowboy hat. It was like a nod to Gene Autry, and like that made some sense. And I think cowboy hats like on Mike Trout look phenomenal, so I was excited to see that. The fact that they don't travel with the samurai helmet is the least show thing I've ever heard.
Right?
Wait, hold on. Let me take a look at this helmet.
Hey, Rook.
Are they saying
Carry
it's a
the
weapon?
Freaking helmet, bro.
Are they saying like security doesn't allow it because it's so scary?
No. Shoot, dude.
They said weight and size. We're a pro baseball team, though.
What about all the bats and balls?
Yeah, well, they don't bring those either.
I'm down.
Yes, do.
Shoot. I was up, but now...
Dude, that's such an Angels thing to say.
You're missing the boat.
Why?
Bring the samurai hat, you'll get thumbs up.
You bring the catcher's helmet.
I'm back to down.
I'm down. If they bring it on the road, I'm up. But
then
the fact they're split, they're like, buy in one time, Angels.
It's crazy.
Okay, another hat. Let's move on.
I like
the cheese head. from the Brewers. Now, the Brewers, let me say this. Last year with the bell and the hand, I was in on it. You talked about finishing moments, little climax, the ringing of the bell. Love that. The other team hears it. It's not too disrespectful because you're doing it in your dugout, but you know that pitcher's like that fucking bell. You do not like that bell.
I think the bell, and this is where I might confuse everyone or even myself, I think the bell stands the test of time. I think that can be that dugout feature no matter who players are there. I don't think that needs to be swapped in and out season to season. It can almost become something where like you have bell night at the stadium and you have little bells. And then after a home run, bam. Or you have like what if you have one bell in the outfield that a fan, like a random fan, if the home run, you get to ring the bell and they're like on watch for an inning.
Just feels like that should be Philly. Like it should be a Liberty Bell. Like because any team could have a bell that, again, I'm going to need the connection there.
That's tough for Philly that Milwaukee already has done it because that would be like an excellent Philly homer celebration.
Yeah.
But they can't copy it now.
I like the bell. It makes more sense for Philly. But the Brewers did do it. I don't think it's illegal for them to do it just because the Phillies exist. I would have stuck with it. The cheese head is you need another element to it. You know, It's one, everyone identifies that with the Packers, but I understand the whole city is the Cheeseheads or the state or whatever it is. But
that's where they miss. They should have waited. If you're going to go Cheesehead, if you don't have something already, when football season starts up and the Brewers are looking for a little September magic, then you start going Cheesehead. Now that football season's kicked into gear, you have a couple of players show up at games. I think that could fuel the crowd a little more that, you know, the Cheesehead, by the time we get to September, it's kind of going to run its course.
I'm giving it a Caesar thumb up because I think it makes sense.
I'm going this way. For those listening at home, I'm middle, but slightly up because it makes sense. I think you need to start adding like how they add stickers to football helmets. Like, what if every time a home runner's hit, a little tassel gets added to the Cheesehead, and then by the end, it's like a disco curtain hat, where tassels are hanging over your eyes and you can't see.
This is what we're here for, Jimmy.
Yeah. We're
here to give these teams ideas. I love the tassel idea. I love tassels in general. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. See this picture I have of Jake.
Okay. All right. So we made it through Reds, Angels, Braves, and Brewers.
I have just like a tough one. And I don't know if they're doing this all the time or not. And I hate that I have to be, because everyone thinks I hate them and blah, blah, blah. If you're going to not do the jacket, Blue Jays, you can't do the jacket. You can't do an invisible jacket. It's the saddest thing I've seen in a long time. I
don't think they're all doing it.
I think it was was it a one-time thing? But Vladdy goes down the dugout and they do an imaginary jacket. If you want to do the jacket, stick to the jacket. And at that point, it's on us to be like, well, they love it. It's their thing. It's never leaving. But the invisible jacket, you could do the real jacket.
Right.
We should have something for them. I don't think any of us picked them to give one today, but maybe we should make that a point. Let's figure something out for the Jays, because if you're missing something so much that you're doing a fake thing, then we need to give you something.
Yeah, they're desperate.
Well, I think you guys are all around it. You just got to step on it. The jacket's coming back. Because if you're doing the invisible jacket, guess what? One day the real jacket's going to show up and the boys are going to be hype about it because they love the jacket. They do. I know it ran its course on us, but they're doing invisible jacket.
I couldn't believe it.
You start busting out like at the right moment, the real one's going to come out. It's like, it's back. Whoa.
Yeah.
So here's a quote from the manager,
my Adam
John.
Simber impression.
They got a lot of heavy guys. I think they could have fun with piggyback lines.
It's time to go from a talented,
back and getting a
fun
piggyback
team to a talented, fun team that's going to scrap and claw and find ways to win games. It's a fine line between silly and fun. There's something to be said about acting like you've been here.
Who said that?
That's Toronto's manager,
John Schneider.
Yeah.
So it could be a manager's decision saying, like, let's stop with the homer jacket and let's just play ball. And that to me is like, bro, that's really not up to you.
It's funny that the public discourse on the Blue Jays acting like they've been there without having been there was like a lot of fan stuff, and Blue Jays fans were getting very upset about it. But now we've had Bo Bichette and the manager say like, yeah, we agree.
So that's what it is. That Toronto takes first place like August 14th.
And the jacket's back?
Schneider,
I love that.
Schneider brings the jacket out. You boys earned it.
That's having feel, Trev. Like, if they get, this point in the standings, they're in first, bring the jacket back.
Earn the jacket.
I love it.
Snyder's
got it locked up in his office like a chastity belt. They got to earn their way in.
So we've come up with a solution for the Jays. Win without the jacket, so you get the jacket.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like that.
Let's move to the Red Sox, which they're doing the gold inflatable dumbbells because Yoshida did those while he was in Japan and brought it to the team. I guess they call him Macho Man. He looks just like Jake Storiale with that body. Here's my problem with this. I don't mind this one because there's a backstory and they're trying to make Yoshi feel as comfortable as possible. And I'm sure he's just like, they're having a great time. I wish they were real dumbbells. Like, let's get a pump in the dugout for the boys. During the summertime, you got no sleeves on. You do a little of this, and all of a sudden the traps are hitting in the jersey, and I think you feel more confident and maybe you play better. So I would go with real dumbbells.
I guess that's the part that's a little confusing for me. You're right, Trev. Like, those look like 35s or something like that we could roll those out and get some gold dumbbells going. Or if you're going to have them be ridiculous, have them be ridiculous, right? Like, give me a fake bench press that looks like, it's a 500 pounds, or give me dumbbells that are 100 pounds. Like, it feels like it's too in the middle. Like, give me more silly, or give me like real.
I have something that makes me not like it.
Sure.
They're team branded.
Oh.
Which makes me think this is more marketing, PR, business side said, we got these for you. We think it'll be fun. And the players didn't come up with it on their own.
Might be slinging in Japan right now. The Red Sox Yoshida.
If Yoshi came up with it, then I'm okay. I'm down. Like, if he's making a bunch of bucks off inflatable gold dumbbells, I'm all about that.
But it just doesn't seem to be. Yeah, the fact that they have the Boston B on them. Yeah.
Well, I'm out just because I feel like they should be real. They look cheap. It's like when the Orioles just had one of those like chains you get outside the stadium on last year. I was over it. Like San Diego's got a jeweler making them one, and here you are with this plastic thing. It's the show, guys. We got to step it up a little bit.
Okay, I've got two variations that I think I could like this more. If each player had their own workout, like if Devers had like the flies, if someone did squats or something like that, or tying to that, if they added a whole fake weight room, and then there's videos of like 4 guys and they're all doing a quick workout after a homer, I think that could bring me in a little more.
That could get a little taxing come July when you're in 4th place and you hit a homer.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Just don't do that then, Red Sox.
I'm giving it a Caesar thumb down.
I'm diagonally down.
I'm down just because I don't want it to be. It seems like it came from the front office, not the players.
Okay, I could be up if they change it to real dumbbells and they started, getting an exercise.
I like that it's unique. There's a way to make that up. Keep workshopping, Who else have we missed? The Pirates is not. It's not a hat or a jacket. It's a sword, and they're Pirates had swords. So
love this.
There's your
connection. And they're killing people. Choi looks like he got his throat just like sliced. I don't know if he would have died from that, but a big gash right on his throat. From Jack, is that what's his Polish name? Sawinski. In this GIF we have, he's just right up on his neck. So I like that. I like staging fake deaths at the end. Like, this is where I'm saying Choi was at the end of that line, like he got killed. Someone on the Pirates always needs to be the guy getting stabbed in a fun way.
No.
Yeah, and then the guy who hits the home run, they can do like the double slice on the chest and then a big stab. They can do whatever they want.
Is that what your finishing move would be? The X and then a stab?
Yeah, I think that. What is that movie? Was that
Zorro?
Yeah, it was a Z.
That's a Z.
But that was cool. You like Brandon.
Oh, that's a good scene.
I would do a Pittsburgh P.
Yeah.
Salma Hayek.
Ooh.
Eesh.
Maybe like, you go like Monty Python, you just take the leg off at the end. That's funny.
Someone hops around.
And the person at the end they're part of it.
Is this enough, or would you guys like to see a little more? Would you like to see maybe a peg leg or a hat get involved in this?
If they continue to play well and winning ball, you can add more, like the Blue Jays. But I'm fine with this. I think what you do here to have feel is, big home runs. You run down that dugout and you're slashing everybody. Like a gauntlet of just like boom, boom, boom. Not big home runs. You do what Sawinski did here, where you just kind of like wave it around, and then you get Choi at the end.
Okay. I was in on this one just because it's the Pirates and the sword, and it makes sense. And then I got more into it as they started killing people at the end of the line.
Yep.
And then I got even more into it because they sourced this sword from fans. They put it out on Twitter like, hey, we'd like to have a sword. Can you guys point us in the right direction? And some group of fans said, we got you. And
I like
met
this
up
one
after a game or something. So this one makes a ton of sense to me. I'm giving it Caesar thumb up.
I'm going Caesar thumb up.
Up.
Yeah. So we have the Orioles, and they have a home run celebration and an extra base hit. Now, I'm not sure if the extra base hit's going to stick, but the home run celebration is the Homer Hose, is what they're calling it, which is a good name. It's a funnel that they're funneling, like a beer bong, that they're getting just putting water in there, I'm guessing. Are they putting anything in there? Water bottle. I'm seeing that. This is good. This is fun. They're young team. So this is, I wonder if MLB doesn't like this or shuts it down or whatever, but it's fun.
That's what I talked to Rosie about this one on baseball today. And that's what we said. We liked it, but is there going to be someone stepping in and be like, hey, it's sending the wrong message?
Also, just a quick note, MLB, PA, and John Boy Media are partnered on merch now. And I think a lot of these celebrations, we have shirts in the store. Our store is going crazy right now because we are able to make awesome shirts and the players get their cut, and it's awesome. So if you haven't seen it, shop.johnboymedia.com. We have a new website and like tons of merch, and it's doing really well. So all of these, I think, have shirts, or most of them will have shirts by the time they keep going.
The Homer Hose, it's solid. Slug It and Chug It was used by Melanie Newman on the radio. I guess currently where the Orioles are landing for me, the sprinkler celebration that they did, one of the players got on base. He did the sprinkler, and the whole dugout is spitting water.
It's the best one.
I love it. And I guess putting all the Orioles stuff, and Trev, this is because I know it's getting a little college baseball-y with these Orioles.
Yes.
And they're very young, but I want to tie it to your kind of old rule about the Rays, where when there's one of these, it's kind of good for baseball in the game. That the Orioles being young, and if they start having a celebration for everything, I like them being that team. So I like all of this for them. And the sprinkler, when you get a whole dugout spitting on the field, that's my speed.
Yeah, I like the sprinkler. I also do think it should be for one player because it's a lot. And I think it's like, who got the double in the video I'm watching? Was it Hayes?
You're going to get people spitting on each other in the stands.
But I like it being for one player because it's a lot going on. Visually, it's hilarious. It did make me laugh when I saw it the first time. If they start doing it for every double, I think it loses its luster quickly. But if it's like, say you have a catcher, like it's a great slow of foot guy. When he gets a double, this is what you do, because then there's so much buy-in because it doesn't happen a lot. Trav, seems like you hate this one.
Hates it.
I hate it so much. It's too much. I was going to say it's very college-ish, and you brought it up, Jake. It's true. It's too much. I mean, you can't do that you can't have a celebration for everything. I don't care if you're the youngest team and you whatever. Like you can't do that. What are we going to start doing, man? Like every time you take a ball and it's like good take and we're going to fucking do sprinklers. Like, come on, man. Slippery slope. Don't people say that?
What if they do limit it, right? What if this was like their catchers
it better be at least an RBI double.
Their catcher's really good. Okay, but what if it was one player that doesn't double a lot? Rush, I was thinking catchers, but he's going to double a lot. All right,
I'm still out on it.
All right.
It's like rude.
Homer hose, dong bong, slug it and chug it. I like it. I want to give it my thumbs up, but I think they could have made a nicer one.
The hose is too long. That's my biggest complaint.
And look at the little funnel on it, bro. What is that little funnel?
The funnel's tiny, and the hose is so long that it looks like a car part.
Chugging water's tough.
I keep going back to it. This is the major leagues. This is the show. Like, you have to. That was an impromptu thing, and I think it's like Swerve and Irvin and another pitcher on the team made it, but it's fine for one game. You come up with the idea, hey, we're going to do this. I like the idea, but now let's go back and let's re-up it a little bit. Let's make sure that it's like a big funnel. The hose is an appropriate size. They taped the orange and black on it. So, like, let's just get a custom one. Like, make it show. Then I'm in. Out on the sprinklers.
I like the sprinklers. I don't like them a lot.
Okay.
Like, I almost think if it happens once a week and then they save it for perfect moments, there's got to be someone in charge, the groundskeeper. When are we going sprinklers? I think I like it a lot.
Let's give one team each. We're running a little bit long on this. We still have a few things to get through in the app. Let's go one team apiece and give them their new home run celebration, or if they don't have one, just give them one.
And I think the new sellies, especially coming off the Dong Bong, are brought to us by Blue Moon. Trev, you were telling me before, Blue Moon's got a couple new products coming out that you and the people might be into. And man, Blue Moon and baseball, they go together. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field, people. That's how close these two go together. It's the natural choice all season long for baseball. That Valencia orange peel, it makes it diffy. It's made brighter. That's Blue Moon's home run celebration, is the Valencia peel. Once you pour it, you put that in there. Bang. Biscuit.
From Spain.
And why don't you get it delivered to your house? Bring the ballpark to you. That's at get.bluemoonbeer.com/baseball. That's where you can go check out all of their delivery options. Take one step out of it, have it there waiting for you, and make sure you celebrate responsibly like all those teams we just talked about. Blue Moon Brewing Co., Golden, Colorado. Check out the link in the descriptee. Where are you boys dropping?
We both workshopped one via text about the Twins, or not workshop. We had the same exact thing for the Twins, which I don't know. Does that scare you away, Trev, that it was too easy, that we both thought of at the same time, or does that excite you that it's easy?
I think the fans will be into this. Again, it just makes sense. You want things to make sense in this world, Jimmy, and you and I were just all over this one. I'll let you take it because I have one for the Mariners that I want to do. You take the Twins.
Well,
just give it to
Minnesota produces more hockey players than any other state or province in the world. I read the book about the 1980 U.S. Olympic team, and the line that always stands out to me was one of the players said, usually you make the NHL, you're the best player in your county, maybe the best player in your state. He says, I was the third best player on my block. And he's like, that was Minnesota growing up for me. Hockey town. I think you have a hockey lid, right? Much like our friend Oli Postinen from On the Bench. If you haven't looked at them, they're funny. But you have the hockey lid that's kind of loose, the straps. That's the headwear. And then you have hockey gloves. And you shadow box down the lane or do like a hockey celebration, like mimic skating past the bench. And at the end, you have the guy you fight and you pull his jersey like over his head and de-jersey him and then punch him. And that's it. A little hockey for the boys in Minnesota.
That's the end for you. So you have the gloves, you throw the gloves down, pull the freaking jersey and the little.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted it to be hockey themed. We talked about that right away. You kind of came up with like the hockey fight aspect of it. I wanted like a slap shot at the end of the dugout. That's kind of, space is limited
space
there,
is needed,
so you probably couldn't do it. But the hockey theme, you got to go hockey theme. Whether you just figure something out. I think what you said is great, James. If they want to make it their own, sure. But let's go hockey theme. Let's get something going in Minnesota.
Like it. Yeah, and I would get either the translator or one of the team's health guys in like a Twins hockey jersey, and maybe they're the person that gets fought every time. gets pulled over their
you're right.
head.
It's
You know
gotta-
what this needs? Say that again so I don't say the same thing because you might have just sparked me. Who did you have at the end?
I had either one of the trainers or the team translator at the end wearing like a Twins hockey jersey, and they're the person at the end that gets it pulled over.
What's the best baseball movie that involves the Minnesota Twins?
Little Big League.
Little Big League. And the best scene from Little Big League is the trick play. And the best part about the trick play is the security guard's in on it. The security guard of the dugout has to be the guy that gets jerseys and beat up. Has to be.
Okay. I don't know if the security guard will like that.
No, they like it.
Okay.
Not like the cop.
Trev, hit up hot guy king of Minnesota, what's our guy? Dylan Morse?
Oh my gosh, you call him Dylan? He's never going to hook us up ever against Dustin.
Dustin, excuse me.
That's tough.
I asked you. I was blanking. Hot.
Hey, Minnesota's got theirs. I'll go next. I'm going with the Mariners. And all the highlights I've been watching, I haven't seen that like Vader helmet out this year. It might be. Anybody in our chat, can you let us know if it's still there? Even if it is, I think we're changing it up. It's not super topical to Seattle or your namesake. I'm going with like a mariner, okay? A guy that, is at sea, a guy that likes to catch fish. They have the fish market there. So what I like to do with them is whoever hits the home run, daps up the boys in the dugout, gets to the end, and someone's got a fish, and they throw it to them, and they catch it, just like at the fish market. It's topical. It has an ending. It's easy. It makes sense. And this is one you could do, like big moments. It's good, but even the small moments, just a little fish toss. That's all it is. So you can kind of keep it going throughout. It's not this big, there's not so much theatric involved in it, but it makes sense because of the fish market and the catching of the fish. Everybody knows that. Bam, we got it. Lock it in, Mariners.
Real fish?
Wouldn't be a real fish.
I think you do have to wet the fish first. I think you have like a bucket, like a gallon bucket where the balls are kept, and there's water in there. And when a home run's hit, I think actually someone at the back of the dugout, it's wet. And after he collects his high fives, he's got to get ready because now that fish is coming. And it's got to have some weight to it. I think we're talking rubber fish.
Yeah, weight.
I
would do a rubber
maybe it's
fish.
not water. Maybe it's lube or some Vaseline. Make it tough to catch. It's got to be a
hard
tough
sell on
task.
me. No, but they have newspapers, right? So you get the newspaper and you
wrap
catch
it
the
up.
fish. Yeah. And you wrap it
Tomorrow
up.
they may
That's it,
wrap
man.
fishes in it, but I was a star for 1 whole minute.
Be tough if it was covered in Vaseline and then that same guy hits the field the next inning and like botches a ball. Some bad optics there.
Well, hopefully he dries his hands.
Quick innings.
You're welcome, Seattle. You have your new home.
That's a
run
good one.
celebration.
Jake, do you have one?
Yeah, you said, pick a team. I picked my 2 favorite teams, the Yankees and the Snakes. I'll do them quick. Yankees, for me, you set up a quick old school barber shop and you actually shave them. You put a thing over the guy. You put a little shaving cream on him.
Yeah, you can do like
Shave 'em
teaching your
down.
son how to shave with like a fake razor too, and just like then you can do it a little sloppy.
So
I like that.
That's a no-brainer. You pop out of the chair, you just hit a homer, you got a fresh shave. Are you kidding me? That's good vibes. D-backs, it's no creativity. You just get a big ol' ass snake. And it's like intimidation. Like you bust out a boa
real
constrictor, real snake in the dugout. And after you hit a home run, you're on top of the dugout with like a 15-foot honker. And that's real, man.
I don't
I'm not a
know.
snake. Snakes kind of freak me out. But man, you hit a homer, that's like the one time I think I'd want to hold a big old snake like that.
I feel like it's a big expense. You have an animal trainer on staff now.
It's advertising for the zoo or something.
I like a big rubber snake.
Yeah, the other way you go with it is like as fake of a snake as possible.
Yeah, yeah. Or maybe it's like a snake pit,
Ooh.
and you gotta like everyone throws a snake.
I would
at
go
you.
with the fake snake because then, Jimmy made a good point. You're gonna have an animal trainer on staff. You got to feed that thing little bunny rabbits. Like
81
no one wants
games.
to be doing
Trev,
that.
Evan Longoria, top button unbuttoned, just hits a 3-run dong, and then he's standing on the end of the dugout. Big old snake on
You
his
do
shoulders.
have to think about the Jock Peterson pearls effect. When he was wearing the pearls, and then in the playoffs, the whole crowd was wearing pearls. You want something that the stadium can easily latch onto, and if you have fake snake night, that's a win.
Yeah, that's easy.
I don't know. I feel like you could easily sneak a real snake into a stadium, and then all of a sudden we're getting like real snakes just.
People have done that. There's some people don't go anywhere without their pet snake, so that's just that's been part of society.
That would and then there's one time where it's like, one of the young snakes, Jake McCarthy, like the snake actually starts rapping, and you're like, whoa, hey! But it's a good clip. It goes viral.
So you have to have a sword in the dugout for those emergency situations, and you just fucking.
Speaking of, I suggested this to you guys. I think maybe the Rays should just do juggling knives, the whole team.
There's no lie, you did throw that out.
I did throw that on the text.
I
thought that would be funny, right? This guy hits a home run, comes to the dugout, and everyone's just tossing him knives to juggle.
They'd probably be good at it.
Does that segue
I got one
us
for the
into
Cardinals.
Rays? What's that?
I got one for the Cardinals.
Oh, okay.
Like the Cardinal way, they're just kind of boring, just like business as usual. They just hit a home run, and they go to the end of the dugout and drink a glass of milk.
Coach ball game's dream.
That's as Midwest as it gets.
Coach ball game's absolute dream.
And then like Paul Goldschmidt just like has a milk mustache and wipes it off.
Oh, good milk mustaches after home runs would be fun.
Yeah.
You basically, what were those? Those old posters, the Got Milk posters.
Yeah.
You have one of those
Sexy.
every game.
How do we get the kids to drink milk?
That's another thing. Sponsorship
You're
now.
slinging milk.
No,
in
I'm
the
out on the
stands.
sponsors.
Okay, he's out on the sponsors.
You only are out if it's corporate.
Yeah, if it has like the logo on it. Like the snake can't have like a branded Diamondbacks logo. That can come in the playoffs. Like when the Braves were probably selling replica
That's
beads.
what I'm saying. Fake snakes around the shoulders. We do that easy.
What about like a Mark Antony, Cleopatra snake bit like death scene? Like they acted out.
Okay, you can play it on the big board maybe.
Yeah, like it becomes a drama.
And
suicide
you know what?
by
Before
snake.
the game, people can come and meet the like actual snake that's like hanging out in the dugout.
This is the home run snake.
Like the
today.
Ray?
What if you get like a cool snake and it's just loose in the dugout the whole time?
You'd get some great
snake in the
clips.
hot tub?
Snake in the tub.
You never know.
Show you a snake in the hot
What if
tub.
there was what if there was a Bob for Apple's situation for a team? What team could have that where like, there's like a horse trowel at the end that there's something in and they got to dunk their head in there. Like good cowboy hungover scenes where they dunk their head.
Sounds like a Rockies thing, Colorado.
Bobbing for something.
Or just like, you dunk your head like you get a swirly. But not like shit. Like it's more cool.
Yeah, that's tough. Colorado. This is hella Colorado, and I'll stop. Whenever they hike the mountains up there, like the 14ers, the big mountains, you take a picture of it, and it'll be like Mount Bierstadt, the elevation, and like the date you did it. Like they should do like Mount Coors. Maybe you can't put the pitcher's name on there. You put the hitter's name on there, and you say how far it went. That could be a fun, like, it's very Colorado.
If I knew about this tradition, I think I'd be on board more.
Okay.
Okay, what if there were
skis?
Full
What if
ski outfit.
Or no. What if they gave him ski poles and goggles and he like slalomed his way down the dugout?
I'm into that.
Could be good.
Topical. It makes sense. I just
Skis
learned
on
how to ski, so
cement.
I'm in.
It's tough. Okay. I guess sound off in the comments what other ones you guys have that are no-brainers, and we can try to feed through the pipeline.
Yeah. Sound off.
Feed your pipeline. Okay.
You want to talk about the Rays?
In the hype video for the Jays?
11-0?
You guys are both saying different things. I didn't hear either of them.
Next topic is the Rays, right? 11-0?
Okay. Los Rays, 11-0. Dominant fashion, easiest schedule ever to get going. Jim, I guess me and Trev touched on it a little bit, although we were 2 Red Sox wins short. So you actually, if you want to kick it off with where you're at.
It's cool. I think I placed a bet that a team would have a 10-game winning streak this year. It was really good odds that a team would go 10-0. It's still impressive. The Twins have technically, by the math, an easier schedule to start the season. They're the easiest strength of schedule according to Baseball Reference, and they're 7-4. The Rays are good. It is funny. the Red Sox are better. The first 3 teams were like, whoa, but it's still crazy to win every game. But also winning breeds winning where your relievers are not taxed and your starters are doing well. They're hitting home runs like crazy. So there's a lot of stuff when you actually, because even if you want to be a Rays hater and be like, it's the strength of schedule, when you really dive in, the individual games are impressive in their own way. Where like, yeah. And also keep going. Because if a good April can get you into the wild card right now. Like if they end up going like 20-6, they can have a fucking terrible pitfall. Yanks did it last year. They started so well, and then they had the worst August in baseball history. Still won the division.
The stats on this are absolutely nuts. I think it's Sarah Langs has an article with it is Sarah Langs has an article on MLB.com, and it has just all of the incredible 1880 stats that you could dream of. This one stood out to me. They played 99 innings this season, and they've trailed after only 5 of those innings. They've been ahead for 94 out of 99 innings. All of those innings where they were trailing is in one game, which was on April 4th against the Nationals. So in every other game, they've just had the lead the whole time. That's crazy, dude. Like to not have like a blow up inning from a bullpen or one of your starters, or, just giving up like a couple walks and a 3-run blast and you're down. Like this is just baseball. This stuff just happens. But the Rays have just, a 63 run differential. That was after 10 games. So it's actually more now because they just beat the Red Sox 7-2. So 68 run differential in 11 games. That's freaking crazy, man.
It's where, and when we talk sports, it's like, where's the ship going to land? Has this changed the scope of the Rays season at all? I think a little bit with how dominant it's been and highlighting how good that pitching staff is in. Rasmussen and Springs, probably the best righty and lefty you hadn't heard of, unless you've been listening to Talkin Baseball. Jimmy's guy. How dominant it's been. You mentioned the 1884 Maroons, and I think there's another team from that season. Again, right before we recorded this, I did Wake and Jake with brother Jeff Passan, because he had a couple tweets that were like, I labeled it, and Jeff didn't fight me, like horny Jeff Passan tweets. Last year, Seattle was his like late night horny team that he was like, if you don't see what's going on in Seattle with Ty France and these guys, you're missing out. And I was like, are the Rays going to be this year's team? And he kind of hesitated, and he's like, yeah, because he's all in on it. Because, Trev, you want to know the fun fact he had on that 1884 team they're being compared to? That was the first season they started throwing overhand. So that's how historic what the Rays have done early on this season is. That, man, their lineup is healthy, Franco and Lau. They're getting contributions from other guys in the lineup, and the pitching is real. Go look at that bullpen depth chart right now. There's 6 guys that you should know and like if you track baseball. And, there's about 7 guys in their rotation. Eflin just went on the IL with some back tightness, I believe. So they called up, I think, number 37 prospect Taj Bradley. So, the Rays, man, it's real. It's just, it becomes that fun AL East conversation, right? Yanks are off to a solid start without Rodon and a couple other pieces. The Jays are arguably more talented than both teams, but they've got a ghost of a home run jacket right now. So I'm excited to see where the summer leads us in the AL East.
The runs allowed is slash line offensively.
You guys both just jumped in hitting and pitching. That's where we're at.
I want to give the slash line. I'll give it to you, James. 283, 365, 580 for a 944 team OPS.
It's nuts. Again, the teams they are playing are rather bad. Do they have the Royals coming up? Because that would be the next team. I mean,
they play Boston for a couple more, and then they go to Toronto.
The A's are 2-9. They swept the A's. So not every team has swept the A's, but they've only won 2 games. The Tigers are 2-8. Not every team swept them,
Right.
but they're not getting a lot of wins. The Nationals are 4th worst, and that's their first 3 games. So it was funny because you do look at it and you're like, oh, wait, it's literally the bottom 3. The Royals now are down there as well.
They go at Toronto after these final 2 games with Boston.
Nice.
But then
we've talked about
Cincinnati.
I think you can say both things. You can say that they've played poor competition, and you can also say, wow, it's very impressive of how they played. And you're both right.
When you play poor competition, you should win. They haven't been in doubt yet. And my guy Springs looks great.
Yes.
I think our final topic today, Gattis season, is brought to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook. DraftKings, if you don't know baseball season is here, this must have been a confusing ep. But it is. And you can bet on anything at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Player props, team props, and if you find a $5 pregame moneyline bet on a team that you think is going to win and they win, you'll get $150 in bonus bets. Same game parlays, cash out. Join the big league action now on DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the app and sign up with code Talkin. New customers can bet just $5 on any pregame moneyline bet and get $150 in bonus bets if their team wins. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with promo code Talkin.
Yeah, Gattis went on Twitter and said a bunch of wild stuff. He confirmed they were cheating in the postseason. Confirmed that he did steroids twice. Just kind of, one of the more unhinged baseball Twitter meltdowns we've seen. Not meltdowns, because maybe he's getting it off his chest and he feels great. I don't know. What's up, Gattis, if you want to come on and talk, if you're in a good state. But, yeah, how does it feel for you, Trev, to see a guy part of the brotherhood or the union so like flippantly or casually saying all this stuff?
I've known Evan for a long time, and I don't know. It didn't really make me feel anything. Like what I talked to C Rose about when we talked about this was I liked that some more information, I guess, is coming out or becoming confirmed. I just want to know actually what happened. I don't know if we're ever really going to find out everything, all the nuts and bolts of it, but that's kind of what I was interested in, is, what he was confirming or denying. But I don't know. I don't know if it was unhinged.
That's why I took back that word right after I said it, because I don't know if it was either. He might have. But
he did say some strange things. There's no doubt about it. It didn't spark man, you're going against the brotherhood or anything like that, because in fact I feel like that's the majority of the brotherhood of baseball players is fuck yeah, man, say some more. Carlos Correa famously said, you don't know everything, so shut the fuck up. Well, we want to know everything. I want to know everything, and this was just kind of a little bit more of shining the light on what's going on.
Yeah, and I think, the part we don't know, and if you're not very familiar with Evan Gattis, he originally was one of baseball's more wild stories. That's why, anytime you see anyone on a Twitter rant, you're just curious where they're at. Although, hey, he was just answering questions. But this guy, to give the abbreviated version, he was a big, kind of college recruit baseball prospect. He had some troubles with substance abuse and anxiety. He lost his scholarship. The Wikipedia line that is comical as long as everything's okay is that he explored the American Southwest for 4 years. He was just roaming, and then he kind of got himself under control, started playing baseball again. And if you look at his baseball reference, you might be shocked if you're not familiar with the guy. Every year he played 100 games, he hit 20 plus homers. He had crazy power for 2013 to 2018. And it's funny, he's a guy that his baseball reference page, there's not a bad season. And that's always one of those things that's funny to me, because baseball is such a tough sport. You expect it with some of the legends of the game, Evan Gattis, you know, I think all three of us, all four of us, everyone listening, you want more, right? You want more of the unfiltered truth because it never felt like we really got that, right? Like we got a lot of the story when everything happened. It was, Beltran took a chunk of the blame, Hinch, the players just kind of distributed it. Why did I say that so weird? It still feels like there's more of the story, and you wonder when we're going to get the next big thing. Is it an Evan Gattis tell-all? Is it in 1 week? Is it in 2 years? Is it in 20 years? And I think that's the part that we all wish we knew.
He also, he confirmed the Kershaw, like, we knew what was coming. Someone said, did you know what was coming when CeCe hit a homer off CeCe? He said, yes.
It's the most interesting part. I want to see how CeCe reacts.
Me too. He said, you Darvish, we knew what was coming. It was still hard to hit him. It's cool to get some, even if he doesn't feel bad about it, but just some yeah, we knew in the postseason, because they tried to play it they said, and it happened in the postseason, but they kind of swept it under the rug because they didn't bang in the postseason. They did a different system. That's why I kept looking at, I wanted someone to bait Gattis and to be like, so if you were doing it in the postseason, what was the different system? Because they stopped banging and they did something new because they couldn't hear it.
Yeah, I think we're all just kind of interested. It's a story that was huge, and then we've kind of just backed off of it because we're just getting the same type of information and just nothing new was coming out, so we're over it. But then, Gattis kind of comes on and starts talking about it, bringing it up. I think that's the biggest takeaway for me is I want to see if CeCe's even going to react to it, because I feel like it's almost like a lose-lose situation for him to come on and just scream at the Astros. But also, he has every right to. So I'm curious if he's going to.
He's not over that season. On his podcast, he still talks about being pretty.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like he gets over. He probably will hold a grudge from somebody. Try to stay on his good side.
I don't know if I would be. Trev, did you cross paths with Gattis? Because I'm seeing he played junior Olympic games with Billy Butler and Homer Bailey. That was like your crew.
We went to Venezuela together. So I knew Evan really well. And there's some more stories from that thing that are interesting. But yeah, he was always been the same kind of baseball player, at least, just absolute masher with a weird stance.
Caveman stance.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, yeah. Go read the tweet thread, and there's a lot of little nuggets there that are interesting. Is that everything we got?
Else on it? Yeah.
We crushed it. Leave us all your celebrations. I want to hear more.
Yes.
If you listen this far, subscribe. We're in a race.
Yeah. We're in a race. This channel's in a race to 100K subscribers. Help us out. Jake sucks.
If you're on AMP, I'll see you on baseball today right now. Happy birthday to Warehouse Willie. It was yesterday.
Wow.
Yesterday.
And happy birthday to my dad today.
Wow.
Yay!
My dad yesterday.
Wow.
Wow.